Good day, everyone. I am Angel Grace Bontog from BSC chap13, and now I'll be discussing one of the most crucial aspects of the tourism and hospitality industry, the labor laws. So, the tourism industry is labor intensive. It faces various labor issues that affect both employees and employers. This is why understanding labor laws is vital for creating a fair and productive work environment. By the end of this discussion, we aim to enumerate the different classifications of employees and their benefits, identify best practices in handling human resource in tourism establishments, understand the procedures for addressing sexual harassment in the workplace, and explain the rights of workers in tourism establishments. Let's begin with the constitutional provisions on labor. So the Philippine Constitution emphasizes full protection to labor, whether local or overseas, organized or unorganized. Workers are guaranteed rights such as self-organization, collective bargaining, peaceful protest, security of tenure, humane working condition, and a living wage. Importantly, the Constitution promotes shared responsibility between workers and employers to ensure industrial peace. So this includes dispute resolution through conciliation and mutual compliance. There is also a special protection for working women, ensuring safe conditions and opportunities that align with their maternal roles and personal growth. Now let's move to the classification of employees in the tourism industry. Employees may be classified as regular employees, those performing core business activities, and casuals who served for at least a year. The casual employees, hired for incidental tasks with potential to become regular if they stay for a year. Next is the seasonal employees, hired during peak seasons but may attain regular status if rehired consistently. The project employees, they hired for specific projects with a known end date. Probationary employees, on trial for up to 6 months with potential for regularization. The fixed-term employees, those under contracts for a specific duration. Lastly, the special workers. It includes apprentices, learners, and handicapped workers. So these classifications help employers to determine appropriate compensation, tenure, and labor policies. Employees, regardless of their classification, are entitled to basic rights under labor law. It includes the safe and healthful working conditions, fair compensation and benefits, non-discrimination and equal opportunity, right to form unions and participate in decision-making, and protection from unlawful termination. So these rights are especially important in tourism, where seasonal work and contract-based employment are common. In tourism establishments, human resource management plays a major role in ensuring smooth operations. So here are some best practices: transparent hiring and clear job descriptions, employee orientation and training, performance evaluations and feedback, employee wellness program, open communication channels, and compliance with labor standards and social protection. Next slide is the handling sexual harassment in the workplace. So we must address sexual harassment, a serious concern in the workplace. Establishment must have a clear anti-harassment policies, provide training and awareness programs, establish a grievance committee, ensure confidentiality and protection for victims, and impose proper disciplinary actions against offenders. These procedures help foster a safe and respectful work environment for all. Let's now move on to employees under fixed-term contracts. So these are workers hired for a specific period of time, often with a clearly stated start and end date in their employment contract. While this setup is legally acceptable, it must not be used to circumvent security of tenure, which is a constitutional right of employees. That means fixed-term contracts cannot be used to avoid giving someone regular employment status. To ensure fairness and legality, there are two important guidelines to follow. First, the agreement must be voluntarily and knowingly accepted by the employee. There should be no form of coercion, pressure, or manipulation. Second, the employer and employee must have equal bargaining power during the contract negotiation. In other words, the employee shouldn't be forced into an unfair agreement just because they need a job. If any of these conditions aren't met, then the contract can be considered invalid and the employee may actually be entitled to regular status. Next, we have our modern day heroes, the Overseas Filipino Workers or OFWs. They are Filipinos who are working abroad, earning income in countries where they are not legal residents. The primary law that protects them is Republic Act 8042, known as Migrant Workers and Overseas Filipinos Act of 1995. So this law ensures that Filipino working overseas are protected from exploitation and abuse, especially when their employment is facilitated by recruitment agencies or foreign employers. It's important to understand that LFWs have specific rights such as legal assistance, proper documentation, and protection from illegal recruitment. Since they are not working under the usual conditions in the Philippines, this law acts as their safety net. Tourism industry, this matters especially in global cruise lines, resorts, or international hotel chains where many Filipinos are employed. Now let's talk about the special workers. So these are individuals who fall under unique employment categories due to their skills, learning status, or physical condition. There are three types of special workers. The apprentices. These workers under formal apprenticeship agreements, they are trained for skilled jobs that require more than 3 months of practice and related instruction. The maximum training period is 6 months. The goal is to help them gain valuable skills while working. Second is the learners. Learners are hired for semi-skilled or lower-skilled jobs that don't require long-term training. Their training must not exceed 3 months. They can be hired if there's a lack of experienced workers and if hiring them won't lower labor standards or wages. The last one is the handicapped workers. These are individuals whose working ability is limited due to physical or mental conditions. They're protected by Republic Act 7277 or the Magna Carta for Disabled Person, which ensures they have equal opportunities and fair treatment in workplace. So these special classifications promote inclusivity and skill development, which is vital in people-driven industry like hospitality and tourism. Next slide, let's take a deeper dive into the benefits and privileges that employees are entitled to under Philippine labor laws. So these are not just incentives, they are fundamental rights. The minimum wage. Under Republic Act 6727, also known as the Wage Rationalization Act, minimum wages are set by regional tripartite boards based on the cost of living in each region. This ensures that employees can maintain a decent standard of living regardless of where they work. Second, the collective bargaining. This is the process where employees, usually represented by a labor union, negotiate with employers on matters like wages, benefits, hours of work, and working conditions. The result is a collective bargaining agreement or CBA. So CBAs must be ratified by a majority of workers, not just union members, registered with the DOLE within 30 days, effective for 3 years for terms and conditions of employment, and 5 years for union representation. So failure to respect the CBA can lead to unfair practices and even labor disputes like strikes or lockouts. Next slide is the Labor Management Councils. Even in companies without unions, workers still have a voice through Labor Management Councils or LMCs. LMCs are established in both organized and unorganized workplaces. Their main role is to serve as a communication bridge between employees and employers. But for LMCs to work well, employee representatives must be elected, not appointed by management. There must be mutual trust, transparency, and commitment to open dialogue. Next slide is the maternity and paternity leave benefits. So, maternity leave. Under Republic Act 8282, female workers are entitled to paid maternity leave so they can recover after childbirth and take care of their newborn. This law recognizes the important role of women not just as workers but as mothers. The paternity leave. Male employees are also entitled to time off to support their wives during and after childbirth. These types of benefits are crucial in promoting work-life balance, especially in the service sector where employees often work long hours. Providing these benefits improves employee loyalty, morale, and productivity, all of which are essential in the tourism and hospitality industry. For solo parents, Republic Act 8972, also known as Solo Parents Welfare Act of 2000, grants 7 days of parental leave per year. This is in addition to other leave benefits and applies to any solo parent who has rendered at least 1 year of service. Slide is the union rights, strikes, and lockouts. A key element in protecting labor rights is the role of legitimate labor organizations or LLO. These unions have the legal personality to represent members and bargain on their behalf. So let's break it down. So a strike. A strike is a temporary stoppage of work initiated by employees due to a labor dispute. Lockout. Lockout is initiated by employers when they temporarily refuse to provide work, again due to a labor dispute. However, strikes or lockouts are only considered legal if they arise from collective bargaining deadlocks or unfair labor practices. In the hospitality industry, service charges are common. Under the law, 85% of service charges collected by hotels, restaurants, and similar establishments must be equitably distributed among the employees, while 15% goes to management to cover losses, breakages, or managerial discretion. So this ensures that frontline workers benefit from the service fees paid by customers, promoting fairness and motivation among staff. Let's move on to the employment contracts. These are more than just written agreements. They are legally binding and must be clearly voluntary and compliant with existing labor standards. Contracts should detail company rules, code of discipline, job description, policies on security, attendance, and procedures. For employee under probationary, project-based, casual, or fixed-term arrangements, contracts must clearly outline the terms and be mutually agreed upon. Next slide is the drug testing and retirement. Under Republic Act 9165 or the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act, employees are subject to random drug testing. Positive results may lead to administrative sanctions such as suspension or termination, but only if due process is followed per Article 282 of the Labor Code. As for retirement, under RA 7641, any employee age 60 and above with at least 5 years of service may retire and is entitled to retirement pay equivalent to half month salary for every year of service. Finally, in the tourism industry, proper grooming and uniform policies are important for branding and service. Many tourism establishments enforce these standards as requirement for DOT accreditation. So employees are also automatically covered under Social Security System for basic social protection, PhilHealth for medical insurance, ECC or Employees Compensation Commission for work-related incidents, and Pag-ibig Fund for housing and saving assistance. These contributions are mandatory, are usually shared between employer and employee, ensuring financial and social security for every Filipino worker. Next slide is the termination of employment, the security of tenure. In the Philippines, employees have a constitutional right to security of tenure, meaning they cannot be dismissed without just or authorized causes. This is a core principle of labor law. Due process plays a central role in protecting employees' rights in the termination process. Under Article 282 of the Labor Code, the employer must provide a written notice to the employee explaining the grounds for dismissal and offering them the opportunity to explain their side. When termination is based on authorized causes such as redundancy, retrenchment, or business closure, Employers are required to provide written notice 30 days prior to the termination. The notice should specify the reason for the termination and inform the both employee and the regional office of the Department of Labor and Employment. Next is best labor practices in tourism establishments. These include a proactive human resource department, comprehensive orientation programs for new employees. These practices foster an inclusive, respectful, and collaborative environment, which is essential in tourism businesses. Tourism establishments follow meritocratic principles where pay increases and promotions are based on performance. In addition to the legally mandated benefits, employees receive extra incentives like meal allowances, vacation leave, performance-based bonuses, and more. Employers also focus on employees' physical, social, and spiritual well-being, organizing recreational activities, parties, and even Bible reading sessions to foster employee engagement. To conclude, labor laws plays a crucial role in safeguarding the rights of employees, ensuring that they are treated fairly, with dignity, and with respect in their workplaces. From security of tenure to protection against discrimination and sexual harassment, these laws are designed to maintain balance and justice in the labor sector. Moreover, best practices in tourism establishments not only comply with these laws but also contribute to creating a positive, supportive, and productive work environment. By adhering to labor standards and continuously improving their practices, businesses in the tourism industry can thrive, ensuring both their success and satisfaction of their employees. So, thank you for your attention, and I hope this discussion has provided valuable insights into the vital intersection of labor rights and best practices in the workplace.